Hey everyone, and welcome. The whole AI revolution kind of feels like magic, right? You get these instant answers, incredible images, and they just seem to appear out of thin air. But what if I told you that thin air is actually a very real, very physical place, and it's the battleground for a massive two-front war? Let's pull back the curtain and see what's really going on. So first things first, we've got to bust a huge myth. We always talk about the cloud, like it's this fluffy, weightless, ethereal thing floating above us. But AI, it's not abstract at all. It has a body, it has a home, and that home is getting bigger, thirstier, and a lot hungrier every single day. So if it's not actually in the clouds, then where is it? Well, it lives inside millions of servers, packed into these colossal buildings we call data centers. And the crazy race to build these AI-powering behemoths, that's what's kicking off a global conflict with some unbelievably high stakes. To really get what's happening here, you first have to understand the sheer scale of the money that's just flooding into this space. I mean, this isn't just another investment trend. It's a full-blown modern-day gold rush. Tech giants are staking claims on the physical ground that's going to power our entire digital future. Just look at this number for a second. $100 billion. That is the mind-boggling amount of money that NVIDIA recently committed to OpenAI, and that's just to build the data centers they need to run their models. This is not some small side project. This is a massive, foundational bet on the future of everything. And believe me, this isn't a one-off deal. The entire industry is making this pivot. The research firm Gartner is projecting that by 2027, almost 40% of all new data center spending is going to be for AI-specific stuff. That is a seismic shift, and it's creating a war on two very different fronts. The first one, it's a battle against the laws of physics itself. Right, so on this first front, you've got what we can only call an engineering nightmare. This is a head-on collision with hard physical and economic limits. The ambition of AI is sprinting full speed into the brick wall of reality, and reality isn't budging. So here's one of the biggest problems in a single picture. We keep getting better at cramming more and more processor cores onto our chips. You can see the numbers for Intel and AMD just skyrocketing. But look at the other axis. The amount of data each of those cores can actually get to, the bandwidth, it's completely flatlined. It's like having 100 people who are dying of thirst, all trying to drink from a single tiny straw. Now, all that computing power, it generates an insane amount of heat and needs an unbelievable amount of power. A single server rack built for AI can guzzle up to 85 kilowatts. Now, to put that in perspective for you, that is enough electricity to power between 80 and 100 homes. One rack. And these data centers have thousands and thousands of them. For decades, we all lived by Moore's law, right? This idea that computers would just keep getting exponentially better and cheaper. Well, that party is over. This chart shows you the price per gigabyte of computer memory over time. See how it just plummets, and then look, for the last decade, it's completely stalled. Memory is not getting cheaper anymore, which means building these gigantic AI models is becoming astronomically expensive. And all of this, it leads to the ultimate bottleneck, time. An AI model can be developed in a matter of months. We can probably build the data center to house it in, say, a couple of years. But upgrading the power grid that's needed to actually run the thing, that can take up to a decade. The AI industry is writing checks that our physical world just can't cash yet. And that brings us to the second front of this war. This second front, well, it's not being fought in some lab or a factory. It's being fought in town halls, in farming communities, and in people's neighborhoods. It's the backyard battle against the real-world consequences of these facilities. And it turns out, local communities are becoming the unexpected speed bumps for AI's explosive growth. So why are communities fighting back? Well, for one thing, let's talk about water. All that computing power generates so much heat, and the cheapest way to cool it all down is with water. A lot of water. For just one of its proposed data centers down in Uruguay, Google had to admit it would need 7.6 million liters of water every single day. And that water, it has to come somewhere, right? That 7.6 million liters is the same amount of water used daily by about 55,000 people. So, in a world that's facing more and more water shortages, people who live there are starting to ask a pretty simple question. Is my drinking water really less important than training some AI? And they aren't just asking questions, they're taking action. In a really dry region of Mexico, residents are protesting projects from Google, Microsoft, and Amazon. Over in Franklin, Indiana, the community pushback got so intense that Google just canceled its plans completely. And in Memphis, the NAACP is actually suing over the air pollution from a new data center. This is a real grassroots movement, and it's going global. In this opposition, it has real financial teeth. I mean, check this out. In just the second quarter of this year, community pushback either blocked or delayed nearly $100 billion in proposed investments. Local politics might be the one force on Earth that can actually slow down these tech giants. And this quote from the NAACP, it just perfectly captures the feeling that's driving all this resistance. It frames this whole thing not just as a fight over resources, but as a fight for justice and for community rights. It's a really powerful moral argument, and it's starting to resonate everywhere. So as these local battles are heating up, the fight over AI's physical footprint is escalating to the world stage. Nations are now looking at the control over this infrastructure, what they're calling compute, as a matter of national security and economic survival. And it has really become a new kind of global chessboard. You've got the US using export controls to cut off rivals from advanced chips. The EU is pushing for something they call compute sovereignty, building these massive state-backed AI gigafactories. The UAE's huge investments in AI are setting off security alarms in Washington. And Taiwan has banned chip exports to China's tech giant Huawei. This is the new great game. So you've got these two totally separate fronts, a war against the laws of physics and a war happening in our own backyards. And what happens when these two fronts finally collide? Well, you get a perfect storm, a convergence of crises that is threatening the entire trajectory of the AI revolution. Let's just lay it all out, side by side. On one side, you have these hard engineering problems. Memory costs have flatlined, power grids can't keep up, supply chains are stretched thin. And on the other side, you have the human problems. Protests over water and pollution, rising utility bills for locals, and huge fights over land. The scary part is, each side makes the other one worse, creating this nasty, vicious cycle. This collision of physics and politics really leaves us with a deeply uncertain future for AI. The path forward, it's no longer just a question of writing better code. It's about solving some of the most complicated physical and social challenges we've ever faced. Which brings us to our final big question. The entire promise of AI, the whole idea, is this weightless, intelligent digital future. But as we've just seen, its foundations are anything but. They are made of concrete and silicon and copper and millions of liters of water. So is this digital revolution, is it forever changed to a very heavy, very resource-intensive, and very contentious physical reality? That right there is the unresolved conflict at the very heart of AI's future.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. It really helps the channel grow. See you in the next video.